I'm fascinated by how confidence works, and the imagination piece we were talking about. I'm interested in how potentially that's interrelated, because like me seeing myself throw a touchdown and then I go on the field and I feel like I've already done it before, and that may give me a larger sense of confidence. But I mean, I've just noticed in myself. I mean, I'm a different player when I'm doubting myself, when I'm thinking too much. Thinking too much, I think especially. I mean, there's a common phrase, if you think on the battlefield, you're dead kind of thing. And maybe there's something to just going out there and reacting.
1000%. So there's good science around the relationship between imagery and confidence, because there's a familiarness to it. And confidence, though, is a mechanism that can be trained. It's not left up to chance. Like when I was a kid, coach would say, go out there, be confident. I said, yeah.
Yeah.
How?
Easier said than done.
Well, just go out there. You're okay. You're good. Yeah, okay, I feel good now, but like sometimes I don't know. So how do I do it? They're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So here's the net of it, is that many people, if I ask you guys, we'll just kind of play along here. If I ask you where confidence comes from, you might know the answer, but what do you think most people say?
Themselves?
Okay, yeah. What do you think?
Well, I believe it comes from preparation. I'm trying to think of what most people would say.
People would say it comes from other people.
Does it come from experience?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would also think it could be genetics, and people are just born to be more confident than others.
Okay, so there's some of the thinking there. You said from others, from past performance, It only comes from one place, which is what you say to yourself. So that's the only place that confidence comes from, is what are you saying to yourself, about this situation, what you're capable of. I'll give you the math on this in a second, but we call it self-talk, right? So confidence comes from one place and one place only, which is self-talk. And you say, well, hold on a minute. Like, I can't just say that I'm going to go walk into the gym and beat Michael Jordan. Let's go.
Yeah.
That self-talk has to be credible. You have to have earned the right to say something epic about yourself. So if you don't earn it, it can't be true. Okay, so you can't fake yourself out. That fake it till you make it shit, that's wrong. Like, do you want to buy a designer handbag? No. Do you want to buy a designer watch? No. You want something authentic and real and true and handmade and crafted, and it's leathered and worn, and it's going to stand up for the ages, and it's beautiful. That comes from real hard work. But confidence doesn't come from the hard work, because you can do all the hard work. You could walk up the 5 stages to get in the UFC cage and go, oh God, look at this. Look at this specimen I got to go try to fight. And then your confidence is whacked.
Yeah, and vice versa. Those who don't even put in the work are overconfident, which to me is fascinating. I don't understand how that works either.
Yeah, well, it's like they're tapping into some genetic talent thing. If they're a high performer,
Yeah.
like they don't put in the work,
Yeah.
and they're like, I got this.
Yeah, and it works for them.
Yeah,
It's
well-
crazy.
To an extent, probably.
For a while.
Yeah.
and like we all think we're big until we see a gorilla.
Yeah.
Like the biggest human is not bigger than the biggest gorilla. And you see an 800-pound gorilla, you're like, whoa. Like, okay, that type of power is different. So, it works for a while. When talent can take over, the genetic coding can kind of carry somebody. All that being said, is confidence, the math on confidence is this appraisal, fancy word for like evaluation, right? You're evaluating what you believe the external conditions, the external demand to be, mapped up against your internal skills. So that's the math underneath of it.
Yeah.
It's ultimately what you say to yourself. There's a little math involved, and you got to earn the right by doing hard things in your life, to say I can do hard things. And last thing, if you can say to yourself, like honestly say to yourself, I do hard things, period. And this thing looks hard.
I did it.
No. This thing I'm about to do looks hard.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But that's what I do.
But that's what I do. I do hard things.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. That's who I am.
No, yeah.
No, not who I am. That's what I do.
Okay.
No, so I'm huge into mantras. I think that's super helpful. One thing I've just kind of gathered over the years is like when I'm about to do a rep or a set, and I'm like kind of in it and I'm in pain or whatever's going through my head, I tell myself 2 things. Like, One is that life is hard, and you can either pick it to be hard to win. It's hard to lose as well. I mean, when you're a loser, you're suffering because now you're like, dang, I'm losing. But it's also very hard to win because now you have to choose to do hard things. So I'm saying I'm going to make a choice. Why not choose the hard that gives me success?
That's good.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think that in my head, and I'm like, oh, do I want to be great? Do I want to be great? And I just say it in my head, like right before the rep, and it really helps. I mean, the amount of motivation I get from that and just saying it to myself a couple of times is insanity.
Yeah, I don't think it's the words. I don't think it's the mantra. I think it's where it's coming from.
Okay.
Like you really want that,
Yeah.
right? Is that true?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah.
And then then the work there. So you're working hard, and you're understanding the relationship between your self-talk and the extra rep, right? And then translate that into when you see something, not a loaded barbell, but now like a loaded team or whatever, like, or maybe an artistic project that you're working on, or like I said earlier, you're going to go pitch, your $1 billion idea to, VC, whatever it is. Like figuring out that internal dialogue and statement it's a separator for most people because they haven't invested in this capability.